What's up, and welcome to the Boys of Fall podcast, week 14, volume 2. We were live yesterday, gave us some plays. We had 3 plays today. We're gonna have just 4 plays, so one less play, unless we have some late ads or something like that. But we'll be here for the chat, talk about any live, well, not live action, but on the spot action, I guess, if you guys have any questions or anything like that. But welcome to, again, rivalry week. Ty, we had a good day on the show, and overall I think college football was pretty great. What was it, 8 overtimes yesterday or something like that?
Yeah. So I was a little upset because they were about to break Penn State's record. All right, Penn State has a record against Illinois for the most overtimes in a single game, so they were damn near close to breaking that. I was really nervous for us. That's kind of like our staple, to be unable to score from the 2-yard line for like so many times. So we're pretty proud about that. We did it again in Ohio State. We couldn't score from the 2. So just classic Penn State stuff. But instant classic. Rivalry week was awesome. College football on Friday was fantastic. I went 9-3 yesterday. Felt good. Felt real good. But of course, the only play I posted on Twitter, dead. Done.
Dude, I think I'm cursed on Twitter. I hate it. To be honest.
Oh, look at them. Hey, you know what? Guess who came up with that clever name?
What?
The starting 5.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll leave that one out. Well, I was going to say, because, we're talking about this overtime game. Like, I didn't even know what was going on. Like, I'm sweating Isaiah Hartenstein. And honestly, not even sweating, because the guy's a monster on the rebounds and assists right now. And this is an NBA show, but I'm going to have to get myself an Isaiah Hartenstein jersey. I already looked it up. Got the OK State blue. Just got to get my wife's approval, as she just leaves the room again there. But we had a good day. We had a good day overall. And
so I am going to pull your football guy card. I am going to pull it. You might not get it back for some time. The fact that there was an 8 overtime game on and you're sweating, somebody's getting rebounds and assists in a pointless game.
I didn't realize.
No.
Well, I thought like Georgia. I didn't realize that Georgia even came back, man. Like I have like a 14-day-old baby. You gotta give me some slack.
I'm not. You have a busted hip, a brand new baby. Like no slack to be given here.
Right. All right. Anyway, though, yeah. So what? Who was this? Joe Kennedy, LaMelo Ball, man.
That's the guy. That's the guy that's with my sister in the bed.
Yeah. No. Anyhow, we did have a little baby show yesterday. I mean, it's not always that you have Friday college football, like a full day. Obviously we'll have some of these days coming up, and I don't know how we're going to handle like bowl season. We'll have some random days, some random bowl games during the week and stuff. And I mean, we'll certainly gotta kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. But yesterday, shameless plug for the Discord again, just one more time here. I talked about it yesterday. All caps savings, get you 35% off. That is $1.06 a day for 30 days. I talked about, dropping an alternate parlay for the podcast, and it missed by 8 points because OK State, couldn't put up any scores for us. But we'll have another one of those put out today. Frustrating play there. But I missed on Boise State minus 17.5. I think they won by like 16 or something. They kind of let them kind of sneak back in. Nebraska and Iowa, we talk about unders being lame, but boy, did I not sweat in that game. The only little bit of a scared that I was it's 10-10, I think it was. And hopefully this doesn't go into overtime, right? And we see 8 overtimes or something like that. But they kicked a field goal to win 13-10. And then Utah won outright, man. Utah dominated that game. I talked about it. That was a fantastic play. I should have put that down on the list with the Utah moneyline dogs or whatever. I'm sure that would have been probably at least a plus 200 with it being a double-digit spread there. Ty, you have some green on your side. You want to talk about?
So hand up. The parlay missing is 100% on me. I I believed Oklahoma State with their running game with Ollie Gordon back there would be able to attack the weakest part of that Colorado defense, which is in the running game. Turns out that they are completely allergic to points. They put up a whopping 0. Colorado put up 52. So yeah, Oklahoma State just couldn't help. And the worst part about it is I look like a complete dumbass. My official play in the Discord was Oklahoma State team total over 23.5. People are chiming me after the first quarter like, okay, this is dead. Yep, it is dead. So then we had Texas State, South Alabama over 60.5. We hit that, and then the Discord hit it again live at 78.5. That game was sweat-free. It was like 28-28 at halftime. I mean, good to go from there. San Jose State money did give me a major scare. They let Stanford creep back into it. Yeah, they scored. They were down, and then Stanford scored on a fumble, and then yeah. And then our dogs, Miami, Ohio, money line, completely free. South Alabama also blew it.
Sorry, that's a lot of green though. Well, I was going to say so. Oh, yeah. And then speaking of the Discord, too, I mean, I went 2 for 2 with just builders, too. You know, I had San Jose State with plus 7.5, I think it was, or 10.5, I think. So really sweat free there. Had Nebraska, Iowa under 50, had Utah plus 21.5. I mean, we were just waiting for the games to finish last night. The bets were so easy. So that was had a pretty good run of things or whatever. So yeah, OK State was the unfortunate team there. Hopefully we don't have any more of them. Sometimes you got to sacrifice, sacrifice that early, early parlay or that early win to win more later on. So that was our sacrifice. So we're looking at hopefully a full card sweep today. Ty, I think we're going to get into it. And man, I was thrown major off by going first yesterday. So I think
yeah. All right. Yeah. So like I will start. All right, so you guys know me. You know I love my small schools. So there's only one place to go, and that's the ULL versus the ULM. University of Louisiana Lafayette versus Louisiana Monroe. All right, this game I absolutely love here. We're going to go with Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns. Team total over 30.5. Yesterday when I gave these plays out, it was 29.5. It's 30.5 now. If you want to move it to 29.5, go ahead and do it right underneath. 30 is a little bit of a key number, not as much as 31, but 30 is definitely a key number. So the reason why we're doing this is Louisiana Lafayette scores an average of 36.6 points per game. And the big thing is on defense, we got ULM giving up like 42 points per game. Just atrocious stuff there. The Raging Cajuns are going to be able to run all over them. They're going to be able to pass. I mean, this team's averaging almost like 500 yards per game, just short of it. 270 in the air, and then almost 200 rushing yards on the ground per game. So I love the Raging Cajuns today to get over 30.5. I actually can't even believe it's that low, to be honest. So yeah, this is going to be my first play of the day.
Yeah, you just I've always liked their helmets.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you gotta bet off of I thought that was gonna run. Let me see. Hold on. Oh well. Anyhow, so yeah, sometimes you gotta make a uniform bet. I'm definitely known to make myself. I've had my share of uniform bets there. But all right, my second play here. We are going to go with Kansas money line versus Baylor. So Kansas, started out rough and they had to kind of go on a run, and they are still in that run. They're continuing to run. They've been doing a good job here, getting those wins. We were on them last week against Colorado, and they put Colorado but to bed. Obviously, Colorado woke up. Colorado, I'm sure, is not going to be. I don't know if they're still waiting. I think they're still waiting on some guys to lose today to potentially get into that conference championship. But Kansas is in a win or go home type spot. Kansas has to get the win. If the season's over, Kansas doesn't win. Going against Baylor, who this game doesn't necessarily matter as much. Kansas has a lot of motivation in terms of that. There's these outside extrinsic type factors that you look at, and that's certainly one of them. Kansas has to win, or they don't get a bowl bid. Kansas recently beat Colorado, BYU, and Iowa State. They lost to Arizona State by 4 and Kansas State by 2. Baylor has not played any sort of the same level of competition. And teams that Baylor has beat, they have a combined 27 and 28 record. So they are playing teams that have losing records. Their wins, the opponents that they beat, I don't know how to say it all the way. They have losing records. They're not as good. Kansas keeps the run alive here today. And the strength of schedule is just a lot better. And they get the dub. They're away, but I don't think Baylor has much of a home field advantage or anything like that. So I feel good about Kansas money line. And it's only like minus 120 or something like that. So that's a good price.
I like Kansas
in college football. That's probably not going to happen, but everybody likes to see Kansas play.
I love Kansas. Yeah. I mean, ever since I took their their total wins 2 years ago when it was at over 2.5. It was free. They went in on like a 6-game win streak right from the jump.
Yeah. Yep, I remember that.
All right, so my next game is another disgusting one. I can't even believe I'm betting it. It does feel a little trappy, but when you see it and you feel it, you can't worry too much about, traps, especially when it comes to totals. You just got to believe in the data and let it rip. All right. So this is an overs, day for me. It's always an overs day. Every Saturday you take overs. Monday through Friday, you also take overs, and Sundays as well. So every day's an over, never an under. Life's too short to bet an under. Remember that. All right. So we're going to go Louisiana Tech versus Kennesaw State, which is one of the worst teams in the country. Yeah. The total is set at 4. It opened up. It was at 42.5, I believe. It opened, and now it's at 41.5. We're going over. All right. And here's why. The teams allow a combined 53 points per game. Okay. Then Louisiana Tech, their games on average are just a little over 50 points per game. Is this a situation where I think Louisiana Tech might have to carry most of the points? Maybe. But Louisiana Tech can score 40 points on their own. I totally believe that. This is just going to be I don't understand why it's so low. I mean, it could be like 0-0 at halftime, and I'd be like, okay, makes sense. But I can't, with a total this low, with a team that's able to score like Louisiana Tech on the ground. Kennesaw State's terrible. Kennesaw State can score through the air. They've proven that, and they do have a decent running back. But the average is at 50. You got to go with the over here. I mean, we're talking a 10-point difference, essentially.
For sure. Sometimes Kennesaw State's been able to just show up at times. Yeah. Kennesaw State what did they beat? Liberty the other day? A month ago, something like that? Yeah. So, yeah.
We just rode their team total and just kept rolling it over, kept rolling. I think we hit it 4 times in the Discord.
Yeah.
That's that math going.
Yeah, and they don't, and because they just don't adjust. Like someone's over there clicking a button, and they're like, "Well, add 7 more."
Well, just an algorithm, right? Yeah. So based on whatever it originally is posted at, a touchdown happens. Okay, let's move it like 6, right? Like, well, this team's only supposed to get 19. They're already at 14. Okay, just like move it to 23.5. Okay, 10 points in 3 quarters. Yeah, I'm going to take that all day long.
Right. All right. So the best rivalry on the board today. Notre Dame versus USC. I don't have a Notre Dame hat on today. I've got got my Vikings hat on today. Alan, I believe we're going to talk about Syracuse later on there if you hang out for a little bit.
Alan, quit reading my mind, man.
But I was honestly, when I went to bed last night, this was at 7.5, and I woke up and it was 6.5, and I just don't understand it. I don't. That generally means that there's a lot of people betting on USC at the plus 7.5. The books wanted to flip it to have some action on the other side, to get some action on Notre Dame, so they can kind of break even, however their algorithms work. Notre Dame's simply the better team on both sides. I mean, without a doubt, USC hasn't been that good. USC is certainly better at home. Notre Dame, I mean, I'd have to look, but I mean, there's not a big drop off away versus home. It's not like Notre Dame's got this rowdy home, amazing environment. They do have a great stadium, been there quite a few times, but it's certainly no crazy, loud stadium or anything like that. They have one of the best rushing attacks in the nation. They have an elite defense. Notre Dame's got a fantastic defense. Notre Dame scored 44 points on average in their last 6 games. They've given up just 55 total points in that time frame. That would be whatever that math is, right? 55 divided by 6. That's less than 10 points a game. The only thing that has me question it, like I said, is a Notre Dame rivalry. I mean, I've grown up watching USC and Notre Dame, these dog fights, and Notre Dame just always losing to USC. But this Notre Dame team is much one of the better Notre Dame teams that they've had in a while. This USC team, quite honestly, is one of the worst teams that they've had in a while. So while it is still a rivalry, while it's USC at home, it's at the Coliseum, everything like that, Notre Dame at a touchdown. I mean, we thought Notre Dame at 13 and 14 and a half against Army was going to be, a bad pick or whatever. Notre Dame rolls, and I think they continue. Look, they're not going to win the college football playoffs. Are they like plus 1,500? And that's maybe not a bad little sprinkle? Sure. But they win this game, and 6.5 is a key number. So, I mean, I think it's a solid number to take. Definitely not a spot where I would take, USC at plus 6.5, so, I mean, Notre Dame is for sure the way to go.
The glazing that you put on in these shows week in and week out for these Irish. I mean, man. It is just, when
dude, you're right, you're right.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're right there. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And I never disagree with you or anything, but it's just like, man, when I hear you talking, it's just like, wait a minute, is that a fan or is that Jort the Trophy Sports handicapper?
Well, for 5 years, I lived within like 5 minutes of the stadium. So I mean,
church, football church. That's why the crowd's not rowdy. It's Catholic mass with a football game going on.
Right. Yep.
Sounds like
everybody's
a good time.
favorite movie is Rudy.
It's just such a terrible movie.
Rudy, bro, I cry every time. Rudy.
Why? How false it is.
No,
lies that are being told.
It's just emotional.
The fabric of your entire program is like false. I mean, you got Vince Vaughn playing like left tackle, I think.
He's a backup third string running back.
Whatever, dude. That's how you know that this is can you believe Vince Vaughn's playing running back? All right. I digress. I like Jort's play. He was totally right last week against Army. All right. This game I am so excited for. We're going to head over to the Dome, the JMA Wireless Dome, where the Syracuse Orange are taking on the Miami Hurricanes. And let me tell you a little something about the Syracuse Orange. I personally love betting on them at home as dogs. I even love betting on them even more when they are big dogs. Double digits all day long. Miami might not get out of here with a win today. So we're taking Syracuse plus 11, and we're taking them on the money line as well. The Orange, when you come to the Dome, the JMA Wireless Dome, and you're a good team, they are going to step it up a level. When you watch Syracuse today, I think the game's going to go over also. I think it's going to be back and forth, both teams scoring. I love this Syracuse team today. I think they got a good chance to win outright. But official play, obviously dogs are barking in the backyard, but the official play is plus 11.
I've been a big Kyle McCord guy.
Yeah, he's a dog.
And I can bet props in my state, so
yeah.
But it just like I've seen Syracuse go down, like 21-0 in the first quarter, and then at halftime it's 28-21. You know
who he kind of reminds me of? Luke Altmaier.
Sure.
That dude, sure. That dude balls out. Plus, they're both orange, right? Illinois is orange.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Fighting Illini or whatever. Yeah. I can't say it.
Fighting Illini.
Illini. There you
go. Yeah. But yeah, I think he's a dog. He will do whatever it takes to win. If you can take him to score a touchdown, I don't know what that prop is. Kyle McCord to score a touchdown, like a running one.
A rushing touchdown?
Yeah. That's a guy that gets in the end zone today.
Dude's got a long neck. You got a lumpy butt. Greg, we're talking about I'll try to remember that one, but once we get through our plays here, we always go through and we'll answer like those random ones or whatever. So we can talk about Allen, we can talk about Illinois, we can talk about, Vandy. We'll get back to those. Okay, next up for me, we got I got two more. I think probably just got one more. And I don't have a lot of write-ups for these last couple and whatnot. Just continued backing some teams have been good for me. SMU minus 13.5, get under the key number there. SMU is already going to the ACC conference championship, but they want to obviously keep their hopes alive for the college football playoffs. They need to win, and I think they need to continue to win, win by double digits, win by, blowout type fashion. I know that Cal has a pretty good defense, and they really do. But so does SMU, man. SMU is a complete team. SMU can run the ball. SMU can throw the ball. SMU has a mobile quarterback in Jennings. On top of the fact that they really do have a stellar defense as well. I don't think Cal is going to be able to score very much. Cal, I don't know if I said it, they haven't really lost by double digits, but they haven't really played some big time strength. Who'd they play? They played, was it Miami? I think that they kind of held on to with Miami. And then I'll tell you what, man, I putting Miami on fraud alert a little bit. Miami has not looked good. Miami was a team that I love to bet on, and now I'm looking at Miami, and dude's Lamar Jackson back there, who, look, I don't like Lamar Jackson. I'm going to be real with you, but he's running around holding the ball the way he's holding it. I mean, he's making stupid mistakes, trying to Patrick Mahomes, flip it sideways, throwing it right to a defender. He's fumbling in the back. I think the guy's all of a sudden exposed. That's not what the pick is, but Cal beat that, Cal held on to that team. And, in my opinion, that's not the same kind of win anymore. So anyway, SMU minus 13.5. SMU is cash for me constantly on this podcast. And we take them one more time, and I don't see a reason to take their foot off the gas. And this could be, a 40 to 10 type win, something like that. The way that SMU puts points on the board.
Love this play. I had this written down as one of my plays, and then I narrow it down. Love this play.
What's that? Oh, that's just a weird way to spell kamikaze, huh? We got two more plays each, and we'll go down the line of the chat questions or whatever. So keep them coming, guys, and we'll get to them. Just hang out with us.
Where do you see that at?
Right here at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Oh, his name kamikaze. All right. So we're gonna finish this off the only way I know how, and that is with an over. I'll tell you guys right now. Oh, I'm still here. Don't worry about it. Let me just fix this quick. It's just, this happens every week. Look at this. I look ridiculous. Give me a second. Stupid camera. All right. Anyways, I wanted to go. Originally, it was Arizona plus 10.5. Arizona State looks great. I don't trust Arizona, so we'll just stay away from them. Then I was like, let's do Duke minus 2.5 alt. Yes, easy cash. And then I'm not going to touch Duke either. They're on the road. I'm just not going to mess with them. So we're going to go with an over. Something I feel super comfortable about. Here's the play. It's going to be Temple versus North Texas. I have 4 disgusting games outside of Syracuse, Miami. 3 disgusting games. So Temple, North Texas. All right, we're going to go over 63.5. All right, hear me out. The last 4 games Temple has played, they've given up a combined, together, 174 points. They gave up 51 last week to UTSA. Then they gave up 15 to FAU, 52 to Tulane, and then 56 to ECU. All right. Then we go over to North Texas. North Texas has given up 40 points the last 5 games outside of when they played Army. So they gave up 40 to ECU, 48 to UTSA, 45 to Tulane, 52 to Memphis, and then 37 to North Atlantic. This game's going to go over. Temple is going to, I know Temple's a bad team. Trust me, I get it. But if you look at their schedule, all right, They play teams tougher. So FAU, they won by 3 points, 18-15. Every game that they're on the road, they get absolutely blown out. They come back home. They play Tulsa. They win 20-10. All right. They go on the road. They play UConn. Oh, well, then Army came and just blew the doors off them at home. But Utah State came to the link 45-29 week 4. That's how I feel this game's going to be. More like a Temple, Utah State. Give me the over for the Mean Green and the Owls. Over 63.5 points all day long.
I like it. Warner's not the quarterback there anymore, is he? Or is he?
Who? Where?
EJ Warner?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Kurt Warner's son?
He go? Yeah.
I don't know, actually.
He was there for a minute.
Yeah, and he was decent.
Yeah, he was. All right. We already got some in the chat. Now's the time. If you guys have any particular questions about certain games that you're on, you like, or you want to solidify a thought that you have, now is the time to drop that in the chat. Let us know. And because my sorry, I've got this feeling a little sick for a minute. Because my next play I don't have a lot to say about. In fact, I have one line of a stat here. I have IU minus 29.5 in my stat. For you guys, the note that I have here is Purdue is bad. Actually, I have two. I'm not gonna lie. IU needs this. IU is a good football team. If it wasn't for special teams, IU look, and that's silly to say. If it wasn't for special teams, IU was in that game with Ohio State. Started to rain. The punter, went through his hands. There was a period where they were hanging tight, and then all of a sudden Ohio State had started 3 possessions within the in the red zone because of turnovers or errors. Indiana's offensive line couldn't protect. And then they were ranked whatever. They've dropped in the college football. They're still in the college football playoffs, but I mean, I think they need to come out and they need to this is a motivation. This is at home. They need to come out and beat the piss out of Purdue. And really just destroy them, in my opinion, to kind of get back to all right, we're good. This is I don't think this is oh, we just lost our first game, we're going to be flat. This is we're still, crimson, whatever, going to kick some butt. And Purdue has been getting blown out by a lot of teams. And I sometimes Purdue kind of sneaks back in. It kind of has that backdoor cover kind of thing. And obviously with this big of a total, this is probably the biggest total that we've taken. But I look at this game, I look at how good IU is, and I think you just lay the chalk. And I think this is it could just be a heck of a beatdown, in my opinion. So hopefully it is. And then laying this many points isn't going to, backfire on me. So that being said, let's go to the chat here real quick. And, I kind of scroll back up here. Well, Ty, do you want to do your dogs first?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do the dogs. So the first dog is Purdue money line. I'm just kidding. Just a joke.
Yeah.
Super late. All right. No, but for real, let's move on to our dogs. They're in the backyard. They're barking. They want some leftover Thanksgiving meals. We're going to Syracuse money line against Miami. Then we're going to go to Pitt. Pitt's feisty. I love Pitt this year. Go Pitt. Then we're going to go Kansas State versus Iowa State. I saw some Zach up there asked about it. I'm going to go with Kansas State money line here. And then if you want to tie these 3 together, put this one on top. This is going to be the seal. This is going to be what takes the parlay to the next level. Vanderbilt money line. All you Tennessee guys, I'm sure your heads are going to explode. Can't believe it. It's the SEC. You guys are just eating each other alive. Vandy's at home. I'm going with Vandy. Diego Pavia is playing quarterback. Anybody that plays quarterback with a name like that has got to be a magician. Diego Pavia. Money line. Taking the Commodores to the top. Another goalpost will end up in a river tonight, most likely. And it'll be great. Yeah,
on
Vandy,
that note, I do like Vandy to cover. Yeah, for sure. I was talking 100%. To Ty beforehand. I read an article paraphrasing, but Tennessee's been a double-digit dog X amount of times, and they have not covered in any of those games. In fact, they've lost some of them outright. Vandy's been a double-digit dog. They're winning those games outright. They're covering. Vandy's at home. A lot of good. I'd love the number at 14.5, obviously, but I still think they should cover that spread, though.
Oh, no, they are. I'll go out here and I'll say it because I've said it before. They are definitely covering that spread. And there's like a 20% chance they're going to win money line. But the spread at 14.5, stick your units, bankroll management.
I think it's like 10.5. Like I'm saying, I wish it was
whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're going to give me 2 scores at home with a team who's proven to beat teams that they shouldn't at home, it's a no-brainer. Parlay those 4 dogs. They're barking.
Alan, if you're still in here about Illinois, they're playing in Wrigley, so you kind of have to take that into consideration. I don't know what that means necessarily, though. Like, it could be windy. I was gonna say under because Northwestern does have a sneaky good defense, but their offense isn't very good. Illinois, I mean, not a big team that I've been like all over. I'd like to back them more as dogs than I have. I certainly would think, yes, if you were using Illinois as a money line piece, it's minus 113. Sure. 8.5, though, would probably prefer to see that at 6.5. Although I would not think about taking Northwestern. I would think the under. The under would probably be my play in there. But y'all know, you guys know how I feel about that. You guys know how Ty feels about that.
Well, I was checking to see if I could see any trends because I know that you had.
Yeah, I asked about that. Kamikaze. I think this play is probably just asking for a whole lot of disaster, to be honest. Ohio State, yeah, I mean, they win. I'm guessing you're saying like a money line. Tennessee, I mean, where you look, Tennessee absolutely should win the game. Whether or not they will, I mean, certainly we'll find out. Army, I think Army got exposed. Army is the first time Army played a good team in Notre Dame. I've talked about it jokingly, whatever, but I think teams are now 0-9 after playing Notre Dame in terms of covering. So UTSA's got a pretty good, and I've actually this Army's sitting at minus 5.5 now. It was 7.5 like this morning. So like that's coming down. There's steam coming in on UTSA. Texas A&M, I don't really have an opinion on, to be honest. I'm not a fan of Texas. I don't like to bet on Texas. Some teams I just don't like to bet on. Ty, you talked about K-State and Iowa State, didn't you? Oh, yep. Yeah. You like K-State. Yep. All right. Zach, we probably answered that one already. Juan? Who do I think is going to win it all? I made a parlay for funsies with the national championship, NBA champion, and NFL. And I, as squared as it is, I did take Ohio State. And as a Notre Dame fan, I would love for them to make it. I think Oregon's a good look, sure. Georgia, I don't think is going to go far. Texas hasn't been very impressive. I think it's Ohio State is by far in the top 5. They're the better team. Notre Dame sitting at plus 1,200 is not a bad sprinkle in my opinion, unless they lose the USC and they fall out. But I don't think that.
What is this glazing that I'm hearing? This blasphemy that's being spewed out all over the Boys of Fall show. Did you just sneak in a Notre Dame national championship?
The world would love to see that.
Okay. All right. Here's my pick. Penn State. If we're doing this, we're doing this. I mean, I'm over here trying to research something for you, and you're sneaking in a Notre Dame natty.
Look, somebody asked about it. They're the 5th. They're in the top 5. It's not like it's unheard of.
They don't have a conference. They play nobody.
This is their last game. They're not going to fall out of the playoffs.
I'm going to order you the shirt I saw from Barstool where it says Catholics versus conferences.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway. Don't need a conference championship or really to play anybody, but we'll make it to the national championship every year.
Yeah, they will.
All right. I hope we play you.
Especially with a 12 teamer. Notre Dame's a lock every year.
All right, ban him. Ban Joseph Kennedy. Ban him.
I can't even see it. I'm too far up. I don't have an opinion on Texas A&M and Texas. Do you, Ty?
No. First off, F Texas A&M.
Yeah, you're right. Texas A&M screwed us.
They killed Coach and I's parlay last week in like 4 overtimes because the kid who plays wide receiver and probably gets paid millions of dollars to play the position can't catch a football. So, I'm not touching Texas A&M or LSU. They're a joke too. Not touching LSU.
There's a few teams that I've just not like. I just don't. There's some teams I just don't bet on. Just not interested.
No. Yeah, I'm not touching Bama. I'm not touching LSU. I'm not touching Texas A&M. There's just no reason.
I think in this game, it's tough, man. I think the spread's a little too big. Michigan can cover it.
What is it?
I'm trying to find it and I'm struggling. Oh, 20.5.
Oh, man, I'm moving that to 21.5. I'm taking Michigan.
Yeah, for sure.
Michigan's trying to play spoiler.
Yeah. It's too big of a rivalry to lay 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, these rivalry games, and like that's why I talked about Arizona State, right? Like we saw it last night. Georgia versus Georgia Tech. What were they? 18-point dogs?
Yeah.
Winning the entire game until the finals, like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
No, these do not buy into the hype. Take Michigan plus 20, move it up to 21.5. Just be careful. But Michigan plus 21.5 is the play. You're getting a dog with 3 touchdowns. I know Michigan hasn't looked good, but this is a top-tier program we're talking about. Going up against their rival. No way. That is just a joke. That's a trap one way or the other. Either Ohio State blows them out or South Carolina, Clemson. I don't know what to think about that. Are you guys avoiding Duke money line? So I liked Duke minus 2.5, but I just pulled it. I didn't give it out. That was like my 4th play here, and I switched it out for the Temple over. I just don't know what to think of Duke. They're always it's like when you watch it and you're just like, this is not an easy game to win. I feel like it always comes down to some nonsense at the end for them to cover or barely win. And with them being on the road, rivalry, I'm just no thanks. I'm good. Syracuse plus 11. Yep.
Yeah, it's not. If there's just better games out there to build a lotto than to add a Duke money line in something, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Talked about these.
I'm never gonna take that big of a favorite in that type of rivalry game ever.
Alan, yeah, that line's come way down. I don't know if you're looking at an alt or anything like that, but yeah, I would certainly. I've already got UTSA in a play in the Discord. BYU, I don't know who BYU plays. So that tells you how much I know about.
They play Houston.
So there should be favorites, right?
Yeah, they are. I think it's like 9 or maybe more.
11.5. They're at home.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I would take Houston.
I don't have an opinion.
BYU hasn't looked good. There's no reason for them to be double-digit favorites at home. They have not looked good. They've gone through a gauntlet last few weeks. Who's in charge of putting these things up here? Where's somebody talking about me?
Coaches, everybody's beards are looking good. I was like real ragged, and then like we had to get family pictures done, so I had to clean it up a little bit.
My shit's really red.
Jabari, I don't know if you were in here earlier or not, but lean in UTSA. I think Army got exposed. I don't think Army has it. Army doesn't have anything to play for in this game.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about?
Yeah, ban him. He's no longer allowed in here.
Army LSC. See, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong? What could go wrong in that, right? What could go wrong there?
Yeah, there's a lot of teams in there we don't like to touch. Bama's got to prove themselves again. Although I would be interested in a Bama money line as a leg of something. Army up in the air. I lean UTSA. LSU has been a team that I liked the bet, and they've fallen off to the point that I'm not interested. I think Ty said something about this. South Carolina, Clemson. I think it's gonna be a really good game. Would lean probably over. I think the offensive strengths match up to both of them, but I couldn't get myself to pull the trigger, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion. I have not watched enough Clemson or South Carolina to get an idea on how they'll match up.
Cards. Yeah, I got SMU on the spread. We'll pull up the thing here. All right, guys, we're gonna work on getting out of here. Let's pull up the recap here. And where's there it is. Okay.
That's a good play, Cards.
For basketball?
We're playing basketball.
Anyway, on my side, we're gonna go with Kansas money line. Notre Dame -6.5. SMU. I actually saying there was a SMU -12.5 on DraftKings if you're interested in that. And then IU Indiana -29.5. Probably the biggest spread that we've taken on the podcast here, but I think it's a not even a get right. It's a like, hey, look, guys, hey, world, we're still a good team, even though we lost to Ohio State, which is arguably one of the best teams in the nation. Ty?
And this is just nothing but an over and a dog's day for me. North Texas versus Temple over 63.5. We're going to get points. Syracuse plus 11.5 at the JMA Dome versus the Miami Hurricanes. I almost said Miami Dolphins. Kennesaw State versus La Tech over 41.5. Louisiana Raging Cajuns team total over 30.5. And then we're going to go Vandy money line, Syracuse money line, Pitt money line, and K-State money line to finish us off. We have to sweep this because if we don't, it's over. We don't have another shot. We have failed.
Bowl games. But then bowl games get tough.
Yeah. No, we have to do it today.
Yep. Win or go home.
We probably had better odds to sweep at least once than to not sweep ever. So, tell at your own risk.
Probably. Tell at your own risk. Okay. Very lastly, going along at the bottom there, we will have an alternate. I've already got it put together on DraftKings. It is only, well, whatever. It's plus 1,500. We got some alt lines, and then there's that boost that'll make it near 100% boost. So it'll be like a plus 2,000, plus 2,500, some alt lines from this podcast. If you want to check that out, I've got a builder. Ty has some plays in there. 35% off your first month if you want to check out. Got the link in the description here. If you're on Twitter, at the very top in my bio, I've got the link there as well. Click on the monthly option. It gets you it for $1.06. I was up 9 units yesterday. We hit some good parlays. We had a lot of fun. We did some good stuff. I think Ty, unless you have anything else, we'll probably close her out.
No, I'll just say what I said yesterday. You know, for $1.06 a day, you can provide water and food to one of the trophies handicappers. You don't want to see them on a commercial with a fly around them with water in a cap of a water bottle. So for $1.06 a day, you can join and you could feed these guys. So
there you go. And then Scott, lastly, probably no on both of those. I'm on the opposite direction on those other guys. So
actually, I do have. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. UTSA doesn't have a bad rush defense.
I don't even get props. I think honestly, one of the best plays in the Syracuse Miami game is going to be Syracuse first half spread. Last 2 weeks, Miami has been played tight in the first half, and then they came out and turned it up. I think that's great play right there. I'm not going to take it because the point's going to be too low to cover a touchdown. But if you're into that kind of thing, Syracuse first half.
On DraftKings, you can do alt on DraftKings, I believe. So you could pull that up.
There you go. That's what I would do.
All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate everybody showing up. We'll continue to figure out what we're gonna do for bowl season, everything like that, and continue to have a show. And pay attention to our Twitters at Live Joe Betts, at Ty the Football Guy, to get more information on the show and everything like that. But we appreciate you guys, and we're going to close it out. We'll see you later.